Hi, this is Lee from the new Beatmaker.com. Many thanks to Corey Banks, B-Boy Tech Report. Today I'll be reviewing Supersonics at the Benediction EP. Supersonics are a three-man production team, Fresh, Rich P and 88 West. You can't always judge a book or an album, you know, by its cover, project by its cover, but in this case I think you can. It's a very classy, very tasteful photo of a funeral service, a very respectful moment. You know, right from the onset they present themselves as being very kind of group that executes their art in a very tasteful and sophisticated way. Sonically, I think that sums them up right from the onset. The project's concept is it uses 80s and 90s gospel samples on all of the tracks. This is a project that can be enjoyed and listened to by both a religious and a secular music listeners as well. I was expecting actually maybe a Just Blaze or a Jake One kind of vibe. When I first heard that they were going to be flipping the gospel samples, but instead it's actually more of a gospel with trap instrumental aesthetics and some R&B melodies, so I could see how the gospel and the R&B influences could merge nicely together. You know, I could see how the R&B and the trap flavourings could merge together too, but to bring all three together, I was not something that on paper would necessarily have worked. I thought, well, at least worked for me, but right from the onset I was pleasantly surprised. They clearly love the music that they are sampling. Every sample seems to be expertly picked, lovingly chopped and sliced with a lot of care and a lot of precision. They've also placed very nicely both in a compositional sense and also in a sound design or a mixing and mastering sense. Especially on the first track, this very haunting refrain is laid with melodies and counter melodies, some instrumentation. There's layers underneath and on top of the sample. Really nice bass. You know, it's big, it's beefy, but it's not overbearing, and there's a lot of movement. And the drums, you know, they're the trap drums. You've got the slow, low BPM 808s, but in between these you've got these nice little very satisfying triplets on the toms that break it up and keep it. It's very meditative, but there's enough to keep your attention and not have you zone out too much. So well done there. That's a wonderful introduction. A highlighted track too, or something that really stands out, is a wonderful use of echo that makes it feel like you're sat right at the back of the church, and you know, it's very atmospheric. I think they've done a really good job here of kind of giving it a second track an almost dreamlike effect with just how long like the reverb is and whatnot, and how long it takes for the sounds to tail off. It's done really nice. The snare on this thing just knocks, just one of the nicest, most satisfying snares I've heard all year. So congratulations on that. The track's called Excellent, and excellent by name, excellent by nature on this one, really. Track steps sounds like the type of thing that Freddie Gibbs would be able to rap over and you know, be soul searching and what have you, and maybe talking about the grimier sides of life, but not in a way that is glorifying, but in very much a way that weighs heavily on one's minds. It does sound almost like, someone, the theme to someone being chased, chased down that alleyway. It's quite dramatic. But a slightly different vibe is evoked on this track, but it's still within the core main ethos of the project enough to remain cohesive. There's a lot of moments of joy on here as well. Maybe that's to show that even in tough circumstances like that, shown in the cover photo, people rely on their beliefs for their strength, and I think that comes across in songs like "And Gold."
I wish I could get a witness in here. I said I'd rather. Honey, you can take your Mercedes, you can take your big house, you can take your fancy clothes, but give me Jesus. Supersonics.
And Real, both of which are very joyous, lots of energy. And Gold's got a really big female hook, which is repeated again and again, and it's got the big smashing cymbals and lots of hand claps. Takes it back to that early noughties Bink, Just Blaze, Rockefeller vibe, which of course I'd be remiss to not mention is itself very gospel inspired in the first place. So they are really taking it back to the church and really actually going full circle. Stylistically, they can perform in a myriad of different styles, and emotionally with And Gold be more joyous than the tracks that have preceded it. There's different levels of emotions that can be explored as well. The next track is Real, and that keeps on with the more positive vibe, and this is a call and response from a male gospel group that you will only need to hear once for it to be stuck in your head all day, I promise you.
John P. Keith and the New Life Community Choir.
I'm not complaining. It's a wonderful sample, and what they do with it is beautiful. And this is more on a 90s R&B vibe a little bit, but more like I don't want to say up tempo, but mid tempo. You can kind of dance to it rather than a slow jam kind of R&B song. Track 6, Trouble, as the name suggests, is very dramatic. It's a theme music to like a big epic conflict or the like, big choir. It's a well put together track that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. I think just mixing and mastering, if there's, I love how this album's been mixed and mastered, but I just feel like if there's one track where it could have had a bit more, a bit more energy, a bit more oomph, it could be this one. Love. The final track is very positive, very, very sweet. Lots of melodies and instrumentation again, fresh. It has a little monologue after track 1, Rich P has a little monologue after track 4, and 88 West has a little monologue which takes the album out. How he wants to be able to reflect on this project, and kind of almost show it off to his children, at a later day, when he's older, and say, look at what the art that your father was making back when he was a younger man, and be proud of it. And I think 88 West can be very proud of himself. Rich P, Fesh obviously can as well. This is a great project from top to bottom. I think this is a fantastic introduction to Supersonics, from a sound design, technical ability, compositional value, how it's mixed and mastered. I'd give this a solid 4 to a light 4.5, but it's a very enjoyable listen, one of the best projects of the year, and I very much look forward to hearing more from them. SoundCloud.com, Supersonics Productions, and many thanks to them, of course, for making such an enjoyable project. Many thanks to Corey at B-Boy Tech Report, giving me the opportunity to do this review. And this is Lee from the new Beatmaker.com, and until next time, many thanks for listening. Bye bye.